Story 3, The Zoo Job. As Roger headed into the zoo office, he ran into Leonard, a tall man with blonde hair and an infamous penchant for practical jokes. Leonard's pranks were well known around the zoo, and Roger was often his target. He vividly remembered how Leonard had once snuck his cowboy hat into the chimpanzee enclosure, leading to an unforgettable spectacle with Harriet, the cheeky chimp, donning the hat to the crowd's amusement. Roger had been irked at first, but even he couldn't help but join in the laughter eventually. Greeting Leonard, Roger couldn't resist a warning. "I'm in no mood for your tricks today, Leonard," he said, half-jokingly. Leonard only gave a sly grin and a cool shrug in response. Roger couldn't be sure what that meant, but he hoped his new hat was off limits for any potential jests. After all, Leonard was known for his creativity, never repeating the same gag twice. With a wave to Leonard, Roger entered the main zoo building. There he found 3 student applicants waiting, each sporting a name tag. They were here for the summer job interview that the zoo manager had scheduled. Roger knew what the zoo looked for in an employee: knowledge, cooperation, and a genuine passion for animals. Only one student could secure the position. "Hello, everyone," Roger greeted them. "We have a busy day ahead. We'll feed some animals and get to know each other. By the end of the day, I hope to decide who will be the best fit for the job." Tom, a sturdy boy with an athlete's build, expressed his hope for a quick tour as he had a baseball game at 4. Roger, understanding the boy's eagerness, reassured him they would finish in time. Cindy, a diligent student with a soft spot for community work, mentioned her blood donation appointment and volunteer shift later that evening. Her altruism seemed to irk Tom, who questioned her motives with a grunt of skepticism. Henry, the third candidate, seemed nervously twitchy, his shoulder giving a small jerk as he insisted everything was fine on his end. The group began their tour with Wally, the cockatoo. Cindy struck up a conversation with the bird, sparking a sarcastic comment from Tom about the futility of talking to animals. Cindy's retort highlighted her knowledge of avian intelligence, impressing Roger with her understanding. Next at the elephant enclosure, Tom balked at lifting the hefty food container, prompting Cindy to step in. Her determination was evident as she steadied the heavy load, quipping about the unexpected workout. As they approached the fridge for the elephant's dessert, Henry's nervousness led to a minor mishap. He dropped a cantaloupe. His fear of being reprimanded was palpable, but Roger's gentle reassurance seemed to ease his anxiety, if only slightly. Their final stop was the chimpanzee area. Here, Roger carefully placed his hat on top of the fridge, taking no chances this time. The group fed Harriet and Charlie without incident, a small victory for Henry, who managed not to drop the food plate. Suddenly, they were interrupted by Leonard, who joined the group as they finished up. Tom, constantly checking the time, inquired if the tour was coming to an end. Roger affirmed, heading back to retrieve his hat, only to find it missing. The sudden outburst of laughter turned everyone's attention to the chimpanzee enclosure, where Harriet, and now Charlie, sported cowboy hats. The humour of the situation was undeniable, but a question nagged at Roger. If this was Leonard's doing, why would he repeat a joke? And then it clicked. Leonard had been with him when he placed his hat atop the fridge. The only time he'd left it unattended was with the students. "All right, who took my hat?" Roger asked, his eyes scanning the students. Tom's impatience to leave had been clear, his disinterest in the job evident. He wouldn't waste time on a prank when his mind was on the game. Cindy's love for animals and her earlier enthusiasm about animal intelligence provided her with both motive and means. She knew how to interact with the chimpanzees quietly enough to orchestrate this hat heist. And poor Henry, still trembling, clearly lacked the composure for such antics. Cindy's eyes flickered with a mix of guilt and mirth. She finally confessed, explaining her fascination with the chimp's behaviour and recalling how Harriet had enjoyed wearing Roger's hat before. It was meant to be a light-hearted gesture, not a disruptive prank. Roger now had a tough decision to make. While Cindy's knowledge and affinity for animals were unparalleled, the zoo needed a reliable team member, not a prankster. As he sent the students on their way, Roger knew who he would choose for the summer job, someone who could balance fun with responsibility.